Our Collision 2017 coverage is proudly powered by Monster Products. Find the headphones and speakers that match your style at PLUGHITZlive.com/monster. All right, we have our next guest here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good indeed.
Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Now, my name is Brian Halligan, and I'm co-founder of a new iOS app called Trupe, Trupe. Now, what Trupe is, it's a narrowcasting network. Perplexed look, I'll explain what narrowcasting is.
Okay.
So broadcasting, obviously, try to reach as many people as possible.
Sure.
So narrowcasting, because we're an open platform, so we're completely open. How we do it is we actually broadcast to people within a certain proximity. So we create troop zones using geofencing. So like that, people would create a troop together, and then the troop is the beacon effectively, and other people within that proximity can jump on board and sharing the experience in terms of sharing the location, whatever the event is, they can add their contribution. So it's effectively an open multi-person snapshot discovery, but one that doesn't get chosen or selected by Snapchat. The power is in the individuals to create what deemed to be seen or worthy, and the troop zone is fluid and grows exponentially based on its participants and its engagement.
Okay. So, for example, let's use this as our example, right? So Patty, the head of all that we see here, he could go and create, start the troop.
Exactly.
For the location.
Exactly.
And as you and I and Danielle and our team and the vendors, as we all jump on board and start participating, the circle grows?
Exactly.
Okay.
So it starts off with a 100-meter radius between two individuals, and they create a troop, put a title on it, and then our platform is default open. So then other people can see that platform or see that troop by its title, and like that join. And depending on where they are, it's like a 100-meter radius for each engagement. So it'll grow based on the site. We actually have a troop going for Collision at the moment. We only went live the day before we got here, so we're literally only out of the traps at the moment.
Okay.
But and again, so what happens is, because it's fluid, it would follow and tracks the people and the participants. It's not linked directly with the administrator. So if, for instance, Patty was to create a fluid troop zone, and like that, it would actually be here, but it would also follow the pack as it moved down to after hours and the various different things. So it's not fixed at a single location. It's fluid and follows the action. Now, if Paddy chose to go home early because he's been working hard all week, it doesn't bring it with him either. It's, again, what happens is the algorithm randomly...
He's the statistical outlier.
Exactly. It moves him from a trooper, which is a content producer and creator, to a snooper, because he's outside the zone now, so he can come and he can still see what's happening in his absence, comment and engage, but he can't create content unless he returns to the troop zone. But he doesn't, being an administrator, he still doesn't. What happens is the administrator role gets reassigned to somebody randomly, and then it tracks. So the troops stay alive effectively while troopers are creating content and are sharing space together, proximity. When the last two troopers part ways, the troop ends, everyone has become a snooper at that stage, and then after that point you got 24 hours to save what you want, post to social media, engage for the last few tidbits of golden memories, and then everything is white clear. It's all stored in the cloud. So it's effectively because like that, in terms of location, we'd be looking at, I don't know if you're familiar with Yik Yak. So Yik Yak,
talked about that yesterday.
Yeah,
That
Yik Yak
apparently shut down yesterday.
gone, exactly, because they had a problem with anonymity, and that cloak of anonymity made people nasty. So we log in through Facebook. There's a profile. There's a bit of responsibility there.
Okay.
And now, but like that. Well, this is like, you log in through Facebook, you don't need to be friends with anybody. They're just a shared proximity. So we feel that in those hyperlocal communities like colleges where there's always things happening, these types of troops could be anything. It could be a shout out looking for a spare player for a team. It could be a frat party. It could be anything. Now, by default, we're open, but as a revenue model, then we look at, if you do want to have something that's private and closed, whether that be for whatever reason, it could be a family event, or it could be just a batshit crazy thing. You pay a small in-app premium for that, and that's how we do it that way. And another alternative then is a static troop zone. So if Paddy didn't like the fluid idea and somebody else stealing his party and him getting kicked out of his own troop, he can actually create a polygon proximity around a fixed space, and for that then there's a charge, which means people can move in and out of it, and like that openly send the stuff up. And again, if you look at the explosion of content that's been created through stories as a format, people now, the pressure in relation to a post and it being content worthy has been diluted so much now with stories because they're ephemeral. So like that, people will engage and they'll know in 24 hours it'll be overwritten with something new. So it'll give a real flavour of what's happening now, and we feel again businesses will enjoy this because you'll see what's happening nearby. If you look at Open Table, how do we really decide what restaurants we go? They're all in the cuisine we want, they're all in the dollar rating we want. The real clincher, and they all got 4.5 stars, so the real clincher is the pictures. So again, it allows us to jump in, see what's happening in real time, multi-person perspective, and go, yeah, let's go down there and give them some of our custom. So that's where we're at. It's kind of a timing thing in terms of learning from obviously the mistakes Yik made. It's kind of validation there. But again, their UX is very Twitter-based. Ours is more a video format, almost Snapchat-esque. But like that, again, we just feel timing is everything, and people are looking to send out information and get as many eyeballs as possible and engage with each other. And that's where we're at.
So I have a couple questions regarding like the troop in itself.
Yeah.
So you were talking about like when you become a snooper and everything like that. Say for example, you have a large troop.
Yeah.
And like collision.
Yeah.
And the groups part ways, like it's like half and half.
Yep.
Like what would happen in that scenario?
The algorithm would understand that, well, and this is a challenge. So like if it was, let's say 50 and 50. How it would decide that those who are contributing the most amount of content, it leans towards them, because it would be
and then
deemed,
everyone else becomes a snooper.
and then everyone else becomes a snooper, and they get notified, and then that the troop would continue on. So in those kind of it would be more reminiscent if it was 3 and 3. But again, you would assume that the 3 people who stop taking the photos are going home or going off, and then the 3 who are continuing at the event or at the occasion, they're still snapping away and whatever else. So again, we learn as we go, but that's the way the algorithm works at the moment, which is a unique feature within geofencing. It's there, but that fluidity is new, and it is unique to something what we're doing there.
Okay, well that makes sense, especially for like our group. Sometimes we're a very large group, and if we were to like part ways from the rest of them, would we automatically become a snooper, or if our group was just being as large as it is? That's why I was wondering.
Yeah,
but that makes sense.
And then like that, there's certain parameters where if you created if you were abroad, and if you were one group and you created a group and you were all friends abroad, again, those rules could be relaxed because it would know your base camp is wherever, and so you going off somewhere else and say, okay, you're still on the holiday. So it's effectively a shared temporary folder of videos and photos and engagement that will last for as long as the experience lasts.
Okay. And the photos just appear in the general location that the group is, the troop?
They appear. I can show you if it'll come up. I can show you. I don't know whether it's of any use to our viewers, but it's a conventional feed. As I said, so effectively it comes up in the stream there, and people engage with it and comment on it. While this doesn't look like anything new in terms of a feed, these people who are together on this troop, we've no connection with them other than we're sharing an experience.
So it's just a list of people.
So, it's just those are the people. What we're looking at here is a list of people that are
at collision in the collision troop.
In our troop here.
And are contributing to the
content, creating
the data.
content. Exactly. And adding to the story, if you will.
Very
awesome.
Yeah. No.
And is it like only a 24-hour kind of thing? Is that why you're comparing it to Snapchat?
No, it's not, and that's the thing. It lasts for as long as the event lasts. So again, it's been tracking us as night events there. It followed us along because all you need is 2 people to stay together, and like that with the 2 of us, I'm over here with a partner, so the 2 of us together have kept the troop alive anyway. And then as we come back in to this zone, then the people who are in it, who are sharing the space again, a new day,
can now
and they're
more.
back. They get a notification. They're troopers. They're in the troop zone, and they can create more again. And like that, there's some other contributions from other people who happen to be nearby us last night having their dinner. So it's all location based, but there is an ephemeral temporary element to it, which again we feel that will allow people and permit people to create and engage.
And I wouldn't be able to see these pictures after the event ends?
Yes, up to 24 hours
Up
after.
to 24 hours after.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
clock kicks in then.
So once the troop is disbanded, your 24-hour clock kicks in, and then at the end of the 24.
So you can get, because like that, there's going to be a lot of content here. Some of it will be of high quality, some of it may not. So you can, it's all stored in the cloud originally. It doesn't take up any of your data, your camera roll. And you just save what you want then, post to social media if you want. If within the feeds come up, you can save them and post to social media if you want. And then it's gone and on to the next one. And you can be in multiple troops, and the whole point. And again, the open platform is a starting position, but again, you can create a private troop. So still link up people who you may or may not have. If it's a wedding, like I might have, the groom might have all the numbers in his phone, but he won't have the bride's side. So there's barriers there, and there's apps that send out QR codes and things like that. They're all barriers. Ultimately, if you want is to get on this thing, it exists, and they just jump on board because it's there and create content, and they can do that then in a private space as well.
Very cool. So it just went live.
Just went live the day before Collision on iOS only. The next phase is to get it onto Android now on the next 3 to 4 weeks. And we're here. We're at bootstrapping stage. We got a bit of seed money as well. There's a bit of interest in it because it is. There's validation in terms of you look at the Yik Yak, but in terms of the timing and the UX, it's almost spot on. Like people. In terms of that story, they don't care whose eyeballs are on this anymore. They just want to have that content seen. Where it becomes valuable is if it's context specific or relatable to the particular audience, and that's the location, you know.
And that makes sense.
Because even today on Snapchat, Collision has its discovery, it's there, and again, it's curated, so you don't have that control. So this is open, but again, the cream rises to the top. So the most engaged with content comes up first, and I suppose it gives an equal voice to everybody, and the power then to just send out the content, and the content lives by itself, as opposed to the influencer and the follower having the biggest and loudest voice.
Definitely.
So if people want to get more information about your platform, how can they do that?
They can do it by going on to www.trupe.com, Trupe, and they can download the app and just start using the app if they have iOS. That's the best way to do it. Start engaging, and they can email info@trupe.com as well, and we'd be happy to help in many questions that they had, you know. But the whole thing should be intuitive, and it should be fun, and it should work straight out of the box.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, as soon as I'm off the air, I'm going to go check it out.
Same.
Excellent, guys.
And have a good rest of the day.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. God bless. Thank you very much.